Hello and welcome to today's webinar. We have quite a few expert speakers with us today. This webinar is a teaser for our upcoming conference, the Solarplaza Summit Baltics, on the 14th of March. But before we get started with the expert speakers, I will briefly tell you about Solarplaza itself. So we've been founded in 2004 already, which means this year we have our 20-year anniversary in April. We're based in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, and we organize events in over 47 countries already. Quite a bit, over 200 events already, which means we built up also a big network of solar PV professionals who can also connect with us and share knowledge on our website. Yeah, here just one slide about the conference itself in March. So we expect around 150 attendees, 15 plus speakers and 10 plus partners. You can already review the first attendee logos on our website. Now, before I give the word to today's moderator, a few practical notes. So on the right side of your screen, you see a box for questions. So if you encounter any technical questions, please use this box to ask questions, and my colleague Tom will get back to you. Also, at the end of the webinar, we have time for all audience questions. So please, as soon as a question comes up, we will collect those through the question box, and we will answer your questions at the end of the webinar. And lastly, the presentation slides will be shared with you within the next 1 to 2 days, together with the full recordings of the webinar. Yes, and with this, I would like to give the word to today's moderator, Rytis Kevelaitis. He's the founder and CEO of Energy Unlimited. I see you're already sharing your camera also. Welcome to the webinar. Please introduce yourself briefly.
Yeah, thanks, Elena, and pleasure to moderate this webinar, How Hybrid Storage Enhanced Renewables Can Reinforce the Baltic Grid. It is, I think, a very important topic due to the fact of significant pipeline of renewable projects under development and upcoming synchronization with continental European network, and to have the stable and secure electricity supply, we have to go towards hybrid and storage enhanced renewables. So shortly about me, I'm the CEO of Energy Unlimited, renewable energy advisory and development company in the Baltics. The Energy Unlimited works with the clients like RW Renewables, mainstream renewable power, regarding the renewable energy projects in the Baltic states. Myself, I also have the public sector background before starting working in the private sector as a Vice Minister of Energy in Lithuania until 2021. And once again, it is a pleasure to have this expert conversation, and I hope this will be valuable for all the participants. Going into sorry, I jumped a few slides ahead, I think. Our agenda, you already heard the introduction regarding me. I'll be glad to present other three members of this webinar. Later on, after this short presentation, we will have presentations from Andrius Karazinas, who is the president of Lithuanian Solar Energy Association, and the presentation from Jonas, who is project development manager at Evecon. And afterwards, we will have a short discussion between us regarding the hybrid and storage projects, and And we also be open for questions from the audience. So yeah, looking forward to the audience questions as well. So jumping to the our distinguished speakers of our today webinar. Just yeah, we have 3 speakers. So we have Dr. Paulius Zapolskis, head of energy industry group from TGS Baltics, and partner at this law firm. More than 15 years of legal work experience and specialization in energy law, commercial arbitration, yeah, and very extensive and significant experience in energy sector law in Lithuania. So yeah, looking forward to speak with Paulius during the discussion. We also have Jonas, who is project development manager at Evecon, and Evecon is a developer of wind, solar, and energy parks in all 3 Baltic states. Jonas has more than 10 years of experience in energy field in general, and a wide range of experience from design engineer, design division manager, asset manager, product owner, project development manager. So I think it's very valuable to hear his insights from all the spectrum of the project development. So, and he's also renewable energy engineer degree. Lastly, but not last, we have Andrius Karazinas, president of Lithuanian Solar Energy Association, also with more than 10 years of experience in renewable energy sector, and a president of Solar Energy Association, which unites almost 100 Lithuanian companies from a very big utility scale solar park developers to a small rooftop PV installer, suppliers, all different parts of solar energy ecosystem. So Andrius is the president of this association, and also besides that, Andrius is also a CEO of Solet company in Lithuania. And yeah, it is a nice flow that Andrius will make also a first presentation. So I pass the word to you, Andrius, and looking forward for your presentation. Andrius, we still don't hear you.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Hello to everyone, and thank you, Rytis, for such nice introduction. Thanks to Selina and Solarplaza for such opportunity, and I'm very excited about that. And I would like to shortly present the hybrid system framework in Lithuania. So first of all, though most of you may be already common with the hybrid concept, anyways, I would like to make clear for all and to be on the same page. So when we talk about hybrid renewable energy sources generators, so we talk about 2 or more generators. It could be solar, wind, hydro, batteries, connected on the same line, but not necessarily connected to the same interconnection point. And also you can often meet the concept of cable pooling. It's more and more popular in various discussions. So cable pooling, in essence, is sharing of connection, also by different renewable energy sources generators. And the main difference, or the main property, is that this connection point is single. So to be short, or how to say, all cable pooling is hybridization, but not all hybrids have a cable pooling. And this moment is very much important when we talk about different entities, about different developers, maybe of different renewable sources in the same place. And well, we'll see those differences later on. Yes, and why the hybridization? What is the potential of it? What are the assumptions? And yeah, it's mainly 3 points about that. First of all, if you talk about Lithuania, so due to this favorable geographical location and climate that we have in our country, we have quite high synergy effect with wind and solar because generation of wind and solar during through the year it overlaps only 5 to up to 10%. So it's a possibility to use the same infrastructure for both generating sources and from that point of view to save money, to save costs while connecting those generators to the grid, either expanding the current ones and saving money, or having much more less connection costs, either sharing those connection costs if we develop brand new hybrid generators. So, and of course, that plays economics, and we have in such case a higher return on rate on investment, and so these projects are more attractive to investors. And of course, side effect of this that we are making a more stable generation, more stable electricity supply. So when combining those two major sources. Now it's interesting situation with hybrid renewable sources in Lithuania. I made this statistics slide. It was not easy to get those data, but still it's based on data provided by our regulator, Lithuanian regulator, VERT, by Litgrid, our TCO, and ESO DCO. So currently, we have in Lithuania over 2 gigawatts of renewable sources already in place. But to be more clear, that utility scale solar parks still consist less part, only 200 megawatts. So something like 800 megawatts are split between prosumers. But this is hybridization of prosumers is very different topics and very deep topic, and let it put aside today. So the potential of hybridization with current installations, let's say, it's something like 1.3 gigawatt. And what you can see on the right side, so currently there are issued permissions to develop or to expand current, for example, wind installations with new solar of 132 megawatts. So this hybridization, this shows that this hybridization process is still in infant phase and it's only starting. And so that's why it is important to talk about that. And it also shows that there are still a lot of market opportunities for this, for developers, for investors. And actually, yes, some points that we still have no parks in solar parks and transmission networks, and we are waiting to come. I think with the spring we'll have first couple or three plants that will be connected to transmission network, and yeah, still have no hybrid renewable energy sources in Lithuania. So looking forward to who will be the first. According to our DCO, there are already reservations for almost 14 gigawatt of wind and solar to be deployed up to 2030. So of course there should be hybridization because currently Lithuanian consumptions over maybe 12 terawatt hours per year, and these capacities would produce much more, and also for that reason we need to ensure our interconnection with other countries. Yes, and according our TCO information, balancing capacity needs for Baltic market in 2030 will be about 1,500 megawatts. So that's important, talking about the batteries, which will play the major role in that. And also what we have, numbers we have talking about brand new hybrid development. So it's also already quite impressive. We have permissions issued to total generating power of 800, and yeah, in that we have wind with 550 and solar with 700, and batteries with 100 megawatts. So what limits hybrids, and why it's not maybe possible to exploit at all potential? You have three main reasons, and it's limited opportunities for wind development still exist. I mean that there are more constraints to do that, and in comparison, solar is in a very favorable place here because very low requirements for even for big parks, and so we can always, I would say, expand current wind farm with solar, but not in opposite way. I mean that if we have solar plant or solar park, so it might be not possible to hybrid it with wind in most cases, because there are a lot of limitations, and from military side and from environment side and so on, environment protection. Yes, also we still have, despite of the fact that hybrids are already there is some legislation about the hybrids, and hybrids are allowed, and already permissions to develop those hybrids are issued. We still lack this legal details about how those systems should work, especially if in the case when there are different investors in the same hybrid generator, and also legal practices. So about this question, maybe my colleague Paulius will talk a little bit more later on. And also there are very limited practical experience in implementing technical solutions, especially when there is no cable pooling. I mean that when those sources are connected to the same line but different points, and when we have this obligation to regulate the production, and so we need to ensure very stable and good management between those different sources, not to overload the grids. So, and there are still a lot of open questions, even from technical side. Yes, and some overlapping issues, or some simultaneously generating issues can solve the batteries. And for batteries, there are opportunities in of course, it's grid balancing services. Peak shaving and smart rate is arbitrage, but there are also limitations on the other side, because peak shaving still remains as not the business case. There were some calculations that investment returns only in 20-25 years. So if you use the batteries only on peak shaving with current economical or maybe energy market situation in Lithuania. So and also daytime electricity prices still are quite high, and maybe we already see some duck Californian duck effects, but it's not still very high, and it does not motivate to use batteries to leverage injection to the grid. And of course, it's also a painful question that you cannot combine the grid balance services and with the peak shaving. It's not possible. So you either use batteries for one purpose or for another. Yes, and what we could do. That's I guess it's a lot of things that we could do to improve this hybridization and to support this hybridization process. And if you talk about the batteries, yes, of course, we still need some kind of financial support, at least at the beginning, to start this. We need some significant legislation improvement. We need clear rules how to share this generating rights and obligations in hybrid when those entities are different, investors, developers, and of course now it's going through all the Europe. We also need to somehow simplify requirements for wind project development. And I think that's all from my side. Thank you for attention, and giving word to Jonas then. Yes, Jonas.
Thank you. Yeah. Jonas, floor is yours.
Okay, thanks. So hi everyone, I'm Jonas. Today I will cover topics of economy on hybrids and the future of storage. So from today's perspective, we can see that the first era of renewables were single technology renewable power plants, which were solar or wind. Right now, as I can see, we're in the beginning of second era, which is hybrid, where we have dual technology of renewable projects to be developed and constructed in the market. The next era, the one after hybrids, will be integrated solutions. This term actually unites hybrids and storage. So it is actually really good that we are starting to talk about hybrids when we have only the beginning of this era, where we can try to still implement some updates on legislation and technological advances. So what are the hybrids? So basically, from economical perspective, hybrids have the advantage that the grid connection costs are shared between of the technologies, which gives, in other words, gives 50% of cost reduction from for grid connection. In total capex of this dual technology would give a 5% total reduction of capex. From generation perspective, solar and wind production has negative correlation coefficient, which means that, in other words, when solar energy production is increasing, wind is decreasing. A 0.22 figure shows that this bond is actually really weak. So combining this, wind and solar do not produce energy in the same time, and they do not produce opposite amounts of energy in the same time. So it's a clearly good environment for hybrids to be in. Of course, as Andrius mentioned, connecting two technologies in one connection point will give us a curtailment. In Lithuania, if we would have the same amount of wind and solar connected to the same connection point, the curtailment would be up to around 8%, calculated from solar curtailment. Yeah, in this slide, I will detailize a bit. Curtailment actually can be adjusted and greatly depends on wind turbines. What power are they? At what height are they? And what location are they? With solar power plants, this customization can be even wider because we have multiple technologies. We can adjust layout, we can adjust sizing. But on average basis, we have a table below which gives a solar to wind ratio and what curtailment it gives. So as I mentioned, if we would have the same amount of solar and wind at the same connection point, we would get around 8% of curtailment calculated from solar. Another figures are just from reference perspectives. Also below you can see a chart how a typical summer day hybrid production would look like. The blue columns are the production of hybrid power plant with solar to wind ratio of 1, and the pink one, no, not the pink one, sorry, the gray one, it's a hypothetical market where we can see that it is in the shape of a duck curve, which would eventually come in every market, as we can all agree of. Yeah, so jumping from hybrids to storage. So storage today has three major benefits that they can reap. The first one would be, as Andrius mentioned, peak shaving, which is to empower the curtailed energy for storing and then producing afterwards. The second, and I think the most popular one right now, would be to participate in the energy market for price arbitrage. And for that, actually, this is a running product. We have multiple regular market tools where we can participate in this market with this product. The third one, I think this is right now is the most interesting one. It's the power market for frequency control. And for this, there are regular market tools of Marie platform and Picasso platform. These platforms are not yet available, as same as the market. So the power market is not yet available, and there are other issues from regulatory perspective, which I will now not touch. So coming from economical figures of storage, if we assume a typical utility scale storage installation with 280,000 euros of megawatt install capex, operation and maintenance cost of 1,300 euros per megawatt hour installed, around 5 to 6,000 of cycles warranted with 2.5% of yearly degradation. And if we would use this battery for one cycle a day, and we would charge and discharge it with the 65 euros of price difference in megawatt hour, we would get a 15 years of project return on investment. This actually gives us a cost of this round trip charging and discharging, which is 65 euros per megawatt hour. So 15 years on return on investment doesn't seem that good. 65 euros in the market price changes is right now really realistic, but most of the benefits of the storage will come. We can see that there are only roots of it coming. Okay, so basically we see that the storage solutions have a business case, slowly running business case, but how about future? 2 weeks ago, Lithuanian transmission system operator presented their insights on the market, and actually there were some clear messages. How do they see the Lithuanian market? And the message number one, we already have the duck curve, which means that in the market and consumption and also production, we can see the systematics that in the summertime, during the midday, the production increases, market price decreases, also consumption decreases, and the duck curve is already there in the Lithuanian market. So regarding the production and consumption, we already see that in consumption and production, there's a great volatility, and volatility will definitely increase because we have the increasing amount of renewables in the grid. So clear message number 2 about volatility. Message number 3 is we already witness surplus hours where we have negative or zero price in the market. So on daily basis, we have the duck curve, we have increasing volatility, and we have the surplus. So these 3 aspects shows that the batteries are coming. Their business case right now is not running as we would wish, but they are coming. So how other markets, countries are seeing this? So in Estonia, Evecon is developing right now 2 projects in Kisa and Rukula of battery energy storage solutions, which are connected directly to the transmission grid. So the projects would be in enormous size. For my opinion, the total power of these 2 installations would be 200 megawatts and total capacity or 400 megawatt hours. They would be in the identical sizing of these projects. These projects would be operational in mid of year 2025. Yeah, equipment suppliers Siemens and Fluence. How are other markets are having the battery energy storage solutions in their grids? And Lithuania is right now lagging behind. So I would say, as Andrius quickly touched this topic, it is essential to empower all sources of income for battery energy storage solutions to participate in all markets and to enhance all products that they can, because it's the product that they can create, and it's an additional source of income for the developer, and to make this business case with better economics, because in the end of the day, these solutions we need to synchronize from the VRELL grid, from the and to synchronize with continental European grid. Yeah, so actually my presentation ends here. Yeah, thank you. I can give back control to Rytis. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonas, for a very interesting presentation, and yeah, I think right insights and the timeline of let's say how the market develops from one technology, renewable projects, to hybrid projects, and to integrated systems, as well as standalone systems of storage as well. Yeah, so then I invite everyone to join back to the discussion, and then I would also like to start with Paulius, as he didn't have a chance to make a presentation. So let's start with him with the question. And yeah, I think Andrius showed that there is, let's say, not that much operational projects in hybrid, but there's quite a lot of, let's say, letter of intentions. I checked the TSO website this morning in Lithuania, so it's 2.5 gigawatts of letter of intentions for hybrid projects signed. So and as this, let's say, a new type of energy projects connected to the grid, what are the experience with the hybrid projects, let's say, at this early stage from a development point of view, from connection point of view, and so on. So
yes, thank you, Rytis. And of course, first of all, thank you very much to organizers for having me. A pleasure to be here. Talking about hybrid projects and a bit from legal perspective and general perspective, I think still hybrid projects generally is a success story in Lithuania, at least the beginning of it, and move into the right direction. definitely a solution to how to use the grid more efficiently, which is an ever growing problem, of course, with expanding capacities. So, of course, it is important to do everything right and find the correct solutions, including legal ones. So we saw recently certain legislative measures addressing the curtailment. We saw that the curtailment the curtailment was actually capped up to 5%, which is of the yearly production, which is a positive thing, which I think was met positively by most developers. Also, we saw some extensions of the development permits to 48 months, which was again received quite positively. So I think some positive things were adopted. Of course, there are some things that could or should be improved. So talking about this development permits and permitting, for example, now as we know, they can be extended to 48 months, but only 1 month was given to actually implement and fulfill these procedures throughout January, which caused certain difficulties to practically do it, actually, because you need to coordinate both with the National Energy Regulatory Council, the regulator, and with Litgrid, which is a TSO. So quite many bureaucratic procedures, and you may get stuck here and there. And so 1 month is certainly a bit too short period of time to do that, which was challenging for most. Also, I would say generally the deadlines, speaking about the projects and hybrid projects recently, because obviously they are trendy now. Generally, the deadlines in permitting are quite strict. I would say more flexibility would be quite desirable because, for example, you can be late 1 day to do this and that, and you may risk to lose the entire project or the 1, 2, 3 million bank guarantee. So I would say certainly some flexibility would be very positive. Also talking about hybrid and cable pooling, which was presented earlier and mentioned by Andrius and other speakers. I think what the idea, of course, itself is innovative and in step with what we see in Europe, right? We need some more clarity on how this should work in practice, because, for example, now what we've been seeing what I've been seeing as a lawyer, that sometimes in practice there is one connection point to developers, right? And they need to find an agreement and agree on many matters and issues, and TSO wants them to find a solution and says, please go and agree, sit at the table and find the solution. But in practice, I mean, of course, the agreement is always a good thing. Hopefully that will happen, but sometimes, of course, there are disagreements. And if the two developers cannot find the solution, the consensus, then it's a bit of a problem. So then we need to find certain rules on how to regulate that and clear rules, how to actually deal with this type of situations. So yeah, it's quite premature. It's still in early stages, as Andrew showed, no hybrid parks yet, but I think it's on a positive track, but at the same time, some procedures need to be improved and yeah, so that's my short summary.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So regarding then the next steps, and let's say there's still an early stage and quite a lot of intentions to build the hybrid projects. Do you have any more recommendations besides what's been said, been done, in a good way? And you mentioned also flexibility. Flexibility might be needed from the institutional point of view to make this happen. Any more, let's say, specific or technical, because I think it will be interesting to see, this also technical challenges, how to actually make these connections work, and to commission and those projects and accepted by the operators. And because I think this commissioning and acceptance of the projects by the operators, I think from the current experience by the developers, is not always going as smooth as possible, even from standalone technologies at the transmission system level and distribution system level. But I think with the hybrids it will be even more of a challenge.
I understand, Rytis, that's still a follow-up question to me, right? So I will
let's say a short remark about the future.
Yes, I will answer very briefly, and then probably colleagues can also supplement. So I think certainly it's a learning curve, right? It's a brand new thing. Now we had the first stages of these grid reservations round. We saw, and we're already seeing some issues with, as I mentioned, with cable pooling, with permitting. So probably there are just certain nuances here and there. You cannot say it doesn't work or something is completely blocked, but I would say the wise idea would be now to do sort of a summary of this first round, what already happened, just do some market consultations and see how the regulations could be improved, and just open a normal dialogue with the market. And basically removing the bureaucratic obstacles and improving the permitting procedures. I would say that's the main thing. And again, from standalone projects, we already heard about the first standalone battery park of 60 megawatt in Lithuania, which actually received a permit already. So this is a positive development, I would say, but then probably, going forward, there will be many more questions, including how to potentially find a right business case and exploit actually this potential to the fullest. And there, I think, again, developers who need to work with the TSO will obviously have to be involved and also contribute to this discussion, and then certain changes might be necessary. So, and on technical restrictions, probably Andrius and Jonas can comment better.
Okay, from one notice from my point of sight. Actually, we had some situation when even DCO, they had no expertise to make something, to connect something, even if it's it's already allowed and legislation is in place. So what I see that our maybe operators, they a little bit lack this practical experience and expertise. And from that point of view, I would like they would be more flexible when making those first projects, But instead now we see much more restrictions than even in other countries sometimes, because they are somehow afraid of the possible impact. They do not know the possible outcome, and they put over restrictions. So what I see possibility here for the first projects, like to have more collaboration between developers and operators, be more flexible, maybe to allow, of course, in reasonable limits, to allow some, how to say, um, allow some freedom, allow some freedom of technical requirements and so on.
Okay, so yeah, I think a good point that for a flexible energy system, we need a flexible regulators and flexible operators. So to have flexible future energy system. I think it was touched upon regarding standalone battery storage. I think by Paulius as well. And Jonas showed some case in Estonia. So Jonas, would be interesting to hear a developer's point of view. What are the main challenges in standalone battery project development? And also I see a question by the audience, which is also related to the battery projects. So it is regarding the data of storage payback period delivering the grid services such as MFRR, FRR, or FCR. So maybe you can cover both the challenges of developing the battery project as well as potential revenue side with providing grid services.
Okay, so from my perspective, I think that there are two challenges in the development of a standalone storage solution. Challenge number one would be a supportive legislation that would allow storage to participate in every market to benefit from. So this would be the one related with the regulatory environment. The second challenge would be much more complicated, and I would call it forecasting of the markets, because right now we have constantly changing energy market, and we see as we integrate more renewables to the grid, the market changes really impactfully. And as I mentioned earlier, the volatility will increase. So the main question is how it will increase. What will we have minimum market prices and maximum market prices? How many times it will change throughout the day? How it will change throughout the year? So I would say that forecasting of energy market regarding power market is still a question, because these markets, for instance, in Lithuania, are not yet existing because we don't even have a platform to participate in the market. So regarding the question from the audience, there will definitely be a potential revenue from power market to participate in MFRR, AFRR markets, but how to evaluate it from a developer perspective and make it bankable, it's still a great challenge. So I would say that this is the biggest challenge that slows down the development, because we cannot see the main benefit in the power market. And if we don't see the main benefit, we can't forecast it. The financial institutions who finances these projects will not give a finance to it if there will be no clear income. Yeah, so this would be my answers.
Okay, and I see more questions coming to Jonas. Yeah, you made an impression with your presentation. So and some data. So the question is, Jonas, your presented curtailment in hybrid system was calculated considering fixed tilt solar system. Is it correct, or will
no,
this
actually,
curtailment be bigger with trackers?
Yeah, it was calculated with trackers. So as I mentioned, it can be multiple customization points, and one would be technology. So this particular case was with trackers.
Okay. And another question is regarding the challenges for construction operation of storage system in Estonia, given the tight timeline for completion. It was Q3, Q4 next year.
25. Yep.
Yeah. So it's one and a half year, something like that from now. So yeah. How do you see that?
From construction perspective, battery energy storage systems are not that complicated as far as I would say. So the biggest challenge would be managing the supply chain, and the construction is manageable because it's tightly located in one place. It's something similar construction the substation. So this right now seems quite manageable with the supply chain.
Okay, so the major is let's say supply of the transformers probably, and as well as
Yeah,
the battery systems, right?
high voltage transformer supply term right now has the greatest lead times right now. It's the bottleneck of the supply.
Okay. Yep. I'm not sure whether we already extended our time. So is there any questions from the audience which you would like to ask? If not, I have, let's say, the final question. Regarding the future. To Andrius, to close it, our question session is what would be your one recommendation to accelerate hybrids and batteries, and let's say this more flexible system? I understand the flexible operators is one of this, but what would be other
Well, we see that with the growth of renewable sources and with the growth of those, hybridization is inevitable. So, and inevitable is batteries. And well, we need to already explore the possibilities and to start projects today, not to be late tomorrow. So, and this is very hot topic, and I believe that we'll have these business cases in the very near future.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that wraps our discussion, and then I'll pass the word to Selina to proceed further.
Yes, thank you, Rytis, and thank you for all our expert speakers today. Thanks for your well preparation, and I hope also the audience enjoyed the fruitful discussion. If you'd like to ask more questions to the speakers, or if you would like to meet in person, and you would like to join our conference itself in March, we also offer your 10% discount code, BLT24 webinar 10. Please use this in the next 2 weeks. And also, if you cannot join our conference in Lithuania in Vilnius, then we also have 2 other conferences close by. The first one in Sweden, in Stockholm, also in March, and in Poland, in Warsaw, in May. So I hope to see you at one of these conferences. And thanks again, and have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
You too.
So, bye bye.
Bye.